Hello, everyone. Welcome to Refuse to Lose. I am your host, Joe Jordan. This show is about different sport topics, on my opinion, in the areas that we're going to talk about. And if you disagree or agree with anything I talk about today, just put it in the comments and we can talk about it. We can have a conversation. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, today's show is going to be about who are the top 5 quarterbacks that are under the most pressure entering the 21-22 season. Hope you guys enjoy.
I refuse to lose. I'd rather get these weak dudes the blues and separate them from their Jews. Teach them don'ts and do's. I raise tools, make crews, make decisions confused.
All right. So where do we start? We start number 5, of course. So number 5 on my list, QBs under the most pressure, Patrick Mahomes. Now, when I say most pressure, I don't mean under pressure of losing their job. Let me tell you why he's under pressure. Number 1, he is considered the best quarterback in the league right now. And people are saying that he's on pace to become the greatest quarterback in history. Also, he will be under everybody's Super Bowl list. He's a Super Bowl favorite. They probably entered the season as the number 1 team on the power ranking. He also has Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the NFL. He has Tyreek Hill, the best deep threat in the NFL. And he lost the Super Bowl last year, but his biggest reason was because he didn't have any protection. But don't forget, they made some moves this year. The Chiefs made some great moves this year to improve their line. Let's just see what they did. They went out and signed Joe Thuney, who's a versatile lineman. If you guys know who Joe Thuney is, right? He's very versatile. He can play different positions on that line. They also signed Kyle Long. He took off a year last year, but they saw Kyle Long, who played great with the Bears. So if he could just if he just be half of who he was with the Bears as just a decent lineman, that would be a huge upgrade from last year. Also, they signed Austin Blythe, right? A former Ram. He's pretty good, pretty decent, right? Also traded for Pro Bowl left tackle Orlando Brown Jr. I mean, Pro Bowl tackle. I mean, I can't say more than that, right? So they will have, in my opinion, the top 3 offensive line in the league next year, and he will have any more excuses. So he will be a Super Bowl favorite. And if he come up short, the reason why he's under the most pressure is because people won't put this high pedestal on him saying he's baby Jordan, he's a potential GOAT and things like that. All right. So he has a high pedestal. He has to actually reach that pedestal by winning the Super Bowl. So he's my number 5 person under the most pressure as far as QBs. All right. Number 4, Jameis Winston. Guys, let me tell you why he's under a lot of pressure. He's under pressure for his job. So he signed a 1-year contract. He's replacing Drew Brees. We all know what Drew Brees is made of. He is the greatest saint in history. You know, also he's under Sean Payton, who loves Taysom Hill. He loves Taysom Hill. He's waiting to show you guys, show the world what he can do with this guy, Taysom Hill. So Jameis Winston has to show up. Because if he doesn't show up this year, it's a possibility that he'll become a backup next year and a permanent backup. It'll be hard for him to find another job because he didn't do pretty good in the Buccaneers. Well, I believe he was a good quarterback in the Buccaneers. I believe that they put him at risk by the way they used him. But he's a decent quarterback, but he's under a lot of pressure. He's under a 1-year contract. Whenever you're under a 1-year contract, you're under a prove me wrong, prove me right contract, so I believe he's under a lot of pressure. All right, number 3, Matthew Stafford. He is under a lot of pressure, I believe. Let me tell you why he's under a lot of pressure. His excuse was always he played for the Detroit Lions. I mean, what do you expect? It's a terrible franchise. He plays for the Detroit Lions. But think about this. Now he got traded to the Rams, who has last year they had the best defense, and going to this season, arguably the best defense, where they had 2 of the top defenders at their level with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. So defense won't be a problem. So it won't be a lot of pressure on the offense to score a lot of points. But they should score a lot of points because he's playing under the system of Sean Mcveigh. Sean McVay is an offensive genius. Listen, I'm a Washington football team fan. I remember what he did with Kirk Cousins. So what he did for Kirk Cousins, he could do for Matthew Stafford. Also last year, the Rams won 10 games. The most games Matthew Stafford won was in 2014. The Lions won 11 games. That's the most games he's ever won in the season. And last year, the Rams did 10. So he has to do better than that. He has to actually win more games than last year, which is basically tie his career high, And if he falls up, if he plays worse than what they did last year, then all those excuses about him playing for the Detroit Lions will go away So he has an opportunity to prove himself. Plus, he's injury prone. He has to stay healthy. All right. So that's my number 3 person. Number 2, Cam Newton. I believe Cam Newton is under a lot of pressure. Let me tell you why. Also under a 1-year contract. His excuse last year was, he had COVID. He was playing pretty well. Then he caught COVID. Also, he's coming back from an injury and playing under a new system. Now he has 1 year in the system under his belt. So he should be more familiar with the offense. Also, the Patriots went out and signed 2 tight ends. They actually went out and had a great free agency to support Cam Newton in his receiving core. And they had a lot of players coming back from the COVID list from last year who opted out last year. They had a lot of players on the defensive side coming back. So the defense will be much better. The offense will be much better. And also, whenever you draft a QB in the first round, it's a lot of pressure on the starting quarterback. So I believe Cam Newton has a lot of pressure on him, because if he put up the same performance he did at the end of last year, then it would be a hard time for him to have a starting job next year, I believe. Now, before I get to my number 1 person, let me just give an honorable mention. I believe everybody expects me to put this person on the list, which is Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I know he's a former MVP. He won the MVP last year, right? I know he's the greatest thrower of football, but that's all he's known for. He only won once, and that was in 2009, I believe, over a decade ago. He lost 2 straight NFC championships, so I believe a lot of people will put him on the list, but the Packers did not upgrade them. I mean, what they do, they brought back Randall Cobb. I get that, but the Packers does not have one of the best receiving cores in the league. So I'm not going to say that I don't believe the Packers will make it back to the NFC Championship, in my opinion. I believe they'll be worse this year than they were last year. So that's why I didn't put him under the most pressure, because he actually has the ball in his court. He's in more control of the situation, because, a lot of speculation, him getting traded, leaving. So I don't believe he had a lot of pressure, because even if he does play poorly this year, he will still have a home next year. All right. And last but not least, the number 1 person under the most pressure, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Washington football team fan, but Dak Prescott. He's under the most pressure. Let me tell you why. He just signed the biggest contract in NFL history. He was hurt last year. The Cowboys were 1 game out of being first place in the NFC East. So, in my opinion, I don't think the Cowboys are winning the NFC East, but there are a lot of expectations of them winning the NFC East every year. And then also, he plays for the America's team, Cowboys. Whenever you play for the Cowboys, you have the media on top of you. Every show is going to talk about the Cowboys. So whenever they're going to dissect everything that Prescott does, if he plays good, he'll get a lot of praises. If he plays okay, not even poorly, he will get slandered on TV, because he plays for the Cowboys. Plus, they have one of the best receiving corps. They got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Malcolm Gallup. And then they have a top 10 offensive line when healthy. So there will be no excuse why he should not play well this year, plus playing in a poor division, which is the NFC East. So if they miss another playoffs this year, that would not be a good look for Dak Prescott. And I don't believe they would trade him like that. But as far as, his legacy or how people, look at him, it's a lot of pressure on him, because a lot of people expect the Cowboys to win this NFC East. My opinion, I don't believe he will. I believe Washington football team will win. But that's why I think Dak Prescott has the most pressure. So tell me what you think, guys. If you agree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with what I'm saying, just give me your top 5 people that you think, top 5 QBs that have the most pressure going into the 2021-22 season. All right. So thank you guys for watching again. You made it to the end. Like I said, make sure you like this video and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And now I'll see you guys in the next episode.
I refuse to lose. I'd rather get these weak dudes the blues and separate them from their Jews. Teach them don'ts and do's. I raise tools, make crews, make decisions confused.